All right, Nick, let's head on down to Columbia and talk about the South Carolina Gamecocks. There is huge news on the horizon for the Gamecocks. I think they have got some amazing news. We knew this could potentially be coming, but it is now official. Big news for South Carolina, big news from the Gamecocks, and I think this team is looking dangerous.
Yeah, this is a football team that is making big strides. We've seen the turnaround already with what they managed to do. This program is heading in the right direction. This report highlights the great momentum they're building forward. And as we're looking forward to the 2023 campaign, that's why we want to hear from you Gamecocks fans in the comment section below. Right now, give us your prediction of what you think South Carolina's final record will be. We're going to hold you to it now, so you better bring the receipts. Give us your prediction for the South Carolina Gamecocks record in the comment section below. All right, Miles, I'll throw it over to you now. What's the big news out of Columbia?
Yeah, Nick, everybody knows at this point, big time 5-star recruit, top 10 player in the country, Dylan Stewart has committed to the South Carolina Gamecocks. Let's get into the story first, and then we'll get into particulars. Nick, this from Hayes Fawcett over at On3 Sports, a great follow for all breaking recruiting news. 5-star plus edge Dylan Stewart of Washington's own Friendship Collegiate Academy announced his commitment to South Carolina Tuesday afternoon. The 6'5", 240-pounder chose the Gamecocks over Ohio State, Georgia, and others. The elite edge joined Shane Beamer in the Gamecocks' top 20 class in the 2024 team rankings. He is accompanied by 4-star offensive tackle Cam Pringle, 4-star quarterback Dante Reno, among others. Stewart is the number 10 player in the On3 industry ranking. He also tabs in as the number 2 edge rusher and the number 1 player in the state of Washington, D.C. Nick, I think this is huge news for the South Carolina Gamecocks. I think this guy looks to be an elite level player. He's going to be a game breaker, and I think South Carolina has the right man for the job because the guy who's recruiting these guys, Sterling Lucas, the outside linebackers coach, seems to be on point. He is also the one who got Nick Harbor out of Washington, D.C. as well. Another big-time 5-star recruit that South Carolina's gotten. So this train keeps on going, and I really love what I'm seeing for the Gamecocks, Nick. But I want your opinion. What do you think about this move? What does it mean for the Gamecocks, and what is the implications for the program going forward?
Yeah, so obviously it feels like it's 2011 right now, right? It feels like Steve Spurrier's back there, the old ball coach, with how great they're recruiting. The top flight guys, the 5-stars, like you alluded to, Coach Lucas and Coach Beamer have done an outstanding job in the recruiting department. And that's obviously the most important thing for long-term success of any program, specifically in the brutal SEC. You can't just have one good year of recruiting or one good year of transfer portal. You have to develop and maintain a steady pipeline of talent. And right now, the South Carolina Gamecocks are doing just that. So credit to Coach Lucas and Coach Beamer for how they're handling that. Now, moving on to Stewart, this kid is a very interesting prospect because he's 6'5", 235-ish, like you mentioned in the opening report there. But when I watched him play and I looked at his film, the thing that jumped out at me is that he is raw. He is a good football player in high school, obviously. But when I watch him play, I'm like, I think this guy could be special. I think that's why he's rated so high. He has the incredible athleticism. His get off the line of scrimmage is unbelievable. If you watch his film, he is out of his stance and 3 yards before most of the offensive linemen get one kick slide in. He is incredibly quick. He's a physical kid. He's tough. He loves burying quarterbacks. You can tell it by the way he plays. He's got incredible length. He reminds me a little bit, and I don't want to make that comparison too much, but a little bit of Jadeveon Clowney in terms of length. Clowney, of course, was famous for being a 2-gap kind of edge player. He could maintain, contain, but still long enough to make a play on the inside, on inside runs that cut back underneath him. He has that kind of length. He showed that in his high school tape. We'll have to see how it translates to the SEC. But I think, I don't know if he's a day one impact superstar, but I think a year or two of development, a year or two in the weight room, this is an all SEC first round talent guy written all over him. I think this is a huge pickup for the long-term success of the South Carolina program.
Yeah, Nick, this guy was incredible. 16 sacks last season. He is absolutely phenomenal. But let's talk about some other stuff here for a second. You bring up Clowney, you bring up the 2011 reference. That was a year where South Carolina got, as everyone knows, the number 1 player in the nation. That was Jadeveon Clowney. The guy was a freak athlete, good at everything he does, even like punted and kicked in high school at times. He could literally do everything. But let's go down the list, Nick. Jadeveon Clowney, 5-star recruit, huge get for South Carolina. We got Jordan Birch, the class of 2020, huge get for the team of South Carolina. Marcus Lattimore, 2010, great running back, legendary recruit pickup for South Carolina, 5-star guy. You go down the list, you got Zach Pickens, 5-star. You've got Demetrius Summers, who's really great. You got Stephen Gilmore out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. A lot of great guys. The theme here, though, Nick, is all of those guys out of the state of South Carolina. They're all in-state players, all really great players, but South Carolina has finally broken out and gotten some truly elite 5-star talent out of state. They're going to Washington, D.C., Maryland, all those areas around there. They're going and being able to recruit out of state and get the truly elite guys from out of state to come in. I think that is the thing that takes this program the next step, gets it to the next level. I think this is really understated how important I say these two, I'm talking about Stewart and Harbor, these two pickups were for South Carolina. I think this is going to be massive for them going forward because, like we say, good recruiting begets better recruiting. And when out of state guys start seeing other out of state guys coming to South Carolina because it's that good of a program, we are going to see a massive difference on the field.